Hey, this is my TNA Final Resolution 2009 review. Before I get underway, I just want to let everyone know I'm going to be doing a countdown for the best matches of 2009. So now the Final Resolution is over and Final Battle are officially over, uh, feel free to just send me your list. Send me a private message of your top 5 matches of 2009 from any company, and just send it to me as soon as you can. And all right, so Final Resolution. It was a pretty good show. First match, we get Motor City Machine Guns versus the British Invasion for the tag team titles. This is pretty good. Motor City Machine Guns had a lot of nice offense, and pretty much as good as I expected. Eventually Shelley, referee was trying to get Shelley out of the ring or whatever, and then the British Invasion kind of did their double team move onto Sabin and ended up retaining the belts. But yeah, pretty solid way to start the show. Probably the third best match of the night. Um, So next up we get ODB versus Tara for the Knockouts title. It wasn't. I wasn't expecting this to be good, but I was glad to see that Tara won the Knockouts title. She kind of won with a roll up, so it wasn't that spectacular, but at least she is the champion. I'm not a big fan of ODB, so this was a pretty positive thing. So next up we had the Feast or Fire match. I mean, it was pretty much all over the place. I wasn't expecting anything great. These matches are kind of fun to watch, but you really can't expect a lot of great wrestling from them. But Samoa Joe was actually in this match, and he was pretty over in it. But they didn't do anything spectacular. Rob Terry actually won his briefcase. He actually pulled down a briefcase, and then the Eric Young and everyone was pissed at him for bringing it down. So yeah, I mean, there was really no spots in this match that were memorable. Sheik Abdul Bashir, he ended up getting fired out of all of them. Nash actually got a title shot. Rob Terry actually got a X Division title shot, and Samoa Joe got a world title shot, which is great because it looks like we might get Samoa Joe and AJ Styles at the pay-per-view or on a pay-per-view down the road. I think that'd be awesome. So, or Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels down the road. So next up we had what do we have next? I believe it was Scott Steiner and Bobby Lashley. I think this was the last man standing match. I think this was next. I'll go if I missed something. I'll go back. Yeah, I mean their matches. I wasn't expecting anything great. This is a little bit better than their previous match. Steiner pulled off the Steiner. What was it called? The Frankensteiner. Yeah, he pulled that off. Lashley and TNA I don't think they're really using him right. I don't think booking him against Steiner is really the smartest way to do it. Personally, I would just have Lashley. I would just have Lashley and Angle feud eventually, and then I think that would pretty much be it for Bobby Lashley. I don't think the fans are really buying into him, so he's kind of had a tough time. When people talked about Tyler Black at Final Battle last night being the John Cena of Ring of Honor, I'd say he's more like the Bobby Lashley of Ring of Honor. I mean, just the fans can't really decide whether they want to love or hate him, and Lashley gets that mixed reaction as well. So yeah, I mean his run in TNA so far, I don't think his heart is really in it, and I don't think the fans really care, to tell you the truth. So that's pretty much how I feel about that. So I think next up we had Abyss and Mick Foley versus Raven and Raven and Stevie Richards. I mean, this was just a generic hardcore type of match. I mean, it was pretty good. It didn't go too long, but while it lasted, there was some pretty good stuff. Foley pulled out the elbow drop, and yeah, I mean, it was decent. It was. I mean, if you want to say it was garbage, I wouldn't totally disagree with you. But if you thought it was good for what it was, then that's fine. So next up we had Kurt Angle versus Desmond Wolfe, the 3 Degrees of Pain match, all taking place in a steel cage. The crowd really wasn't that hot for this, but they were very respectful. And I like that. There was "This is wrestling" chants, and they were just really, really respectful for the match. Nigel didn't have a lot of heat, or Angle didn't have a lot of crowd support, but they were pretty much just really into the match, and there was some pretty great wrestling. I think Angle and Nigel have a lot of chemistry when it comes to hold for hold, submission, and counter wrestling. It's just really good stuff. Nigel actually won the first fall. He had a series of Tower of London spots, and eventually he put Angle away. Then Angle actually got the ankle lock and made Nigel tap out during the second fall. But yeah, the wrestling was great. I mean, the near falls were pretty good in the first fall. The first fall was probably the highlight of the whole match. The third fall, when they were trying to escape the cage, I mean, they really didn't do a lot. Angle actually climbed over the top, and Nigel was trying to climb out the door, but Angle actually climbed out first. So Angle ended up going over. Even though Angle won both matches, I think Nigel got a very big rub, and I think the program has definitely benefited Nigel. And I do think the fans that didn't even know who he was in Ring of Honor will still see him as a main event guy in TNA. So, all right. So next we get AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels for the TNA title. Just another excellent match. I mean, these guys just have a lot of chemistry. I mean, they did not really kill each other. They kind of told more of a story. So, but yeah, I thought this was fine. It's probably not a match of the year candidate or anything like that. I mean, but just a very solid match. They did some pretty innovative things. Daniels actually STO'd AJ onto a steel chair on the outside. And they did a lot of cool stuff off the middle rope. Like, they didn't do everything off the turnbuckle. They did a lot of stuff off the middle of it. And some really good counters. The one problem with the match, though, was the title never really felt like it was in jeopardy. There wasn't that one time where you were like, oh my God, Daniels might have a chance of winning this match. That never really happened. But, Daniels actually kicked out of the Styles Clash, and then they did some other stuff, and then eventually Daniels found himself at the top of the turnbuckle, and then AJ managed to do the Styles Clash off the second rope, and he actually put Daniels away to get the win. So it's still a solid match. Just I don't know. I think a lot of people probably expect a little bit more, but it was still very good. It's a solid 4-star match. I give the double main event both 4 stars each. So that's how I feel about it. I think Final Resolution was a decent show for TNA. I'll probably give it an 8.0. But let me say some more stuff about Final Battle before I leave. Just because I thought the main event was really underwhelming, and it was kind of just a really disappointing way to end the show. I still thought the show was pretty good, though. I thought the first half was an amazing first half, but I think it just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. I don't want to come across like I'm totally bashing the show, because it had a lot of great points, and it had there was a lot of good things Ring of Honor had to be proud of that show, but that main event between Tyler Black and Austin Aries, I just thought it was a disaster. Not because of anything they did in the ring. I just thought the fans really ruined it for him. But I really said that if you book Aries and Black at Final Battle, I thought there was going to be some type of backlash. That's what I thought. But I was pretty confident going in because of all the promo packages, but just didn't turn out as good as everyone was hoping for. But I still recommend going to see it. It was still a pretty awesome show, but just not. I think for the first Ring of Honor live broadcast, I just think a lot of people just expected a little bit more, and the fans did ruin it for a lot of guys. So that's pretty much it. But Final Resolution, definitely check it out. I thought it was very good, but not great, but pretty good for a TNA pay-per-view. So check it out.